So let me tell you about the uncle that like that the monkey all the time. Got an uncle who loves to act the monkey. Now, I guess there's some people who still are not familiar with the term acting the monkey or acting crazy. Um, but yeah, it's basically antics. You like allegory. I guess the most modern form of it would be Curious George. Means well, um, but always finds himself sometimes in a predicament or in a space where he needs a little help. But he's still the savior of the day. I guess another little story I used to watch. It came on early in the morning. It was about the Monkey Prince, and he was traveling with his spiritual advisor, the monk, the Buddhist, the priest, and he's traveling also with a pig or a boar and a red-headed guy, and they were in charge of making sure that the prince and the monkey prince traveled all over the world and made it to the west safely. They were trying to get to the west. It was from the east to the west. It's an Asian story. But it comes on PBS. I like watching that too. My girl like, why you wanna watch that movie? Oh, you always wanna watch them cartoons. I like cartoons. Love The Little Prince from Outer Space. The Little Prince from Outer Space. Yeah, that's my joke. But you know, watching all the different various TV shows and allegories. I got a monkey in my own family, and it's funny that the uncle is Mike. Uncle Mike. That jugger is a mess. It's a trip. And when I say a mess, it's so many different layers to him. And with the passing of my grandfather, it gave me the chance of seeing him in a different perspective. You always see men in a different perspective when another important male in their family makes a transition. Whether the father was a father that was active in their lives, or whether the father was a passive role in their lives, there's always this different type of aura or vibe that males go into. So of course, with his typical nature, he was like trying to make jokes, and as my girl, is she like plum fragrance, and has she ever smelled plum fragrance before? She was like, nah. He was like, come here, I got something on right here. And when she got close by his face, she like smacked him. He smacked her. And he was like, with, like with a little fist or whatever, it went on real hard. It was like, psh. And she was like, what was that? He was like, plum. Get it? Plum. Knuckle sandwich. Anyway, yeah. So he just, do little stuff like that. Not very funny, but in the moment, he's so convincing. Ah, the cunning man. Ah, yeah. Yeah. So, very cunning in his ways. Gets your attention by doing little tricks and stuff. So I said, come on, babe, let's go over here and go talk to Uncle Mike. So like, Uncle Mike need a little attention. And she said, okay, let's go talk to Uncle Mike. So we went to go talk to Uncle Mike. Uncle Mike has a son. His name Lil Mike. Of course, in my family we love to name our children after each other. I got a lot of family members named after one another. Just great. But Mike, Uncle Mike, yeah, that man, yeah, that man. He said, I said, Uncle Mike, have you been thinking anymore about, what it is, you want to do? He was like, what you mean? I was like, you know, he was like, well, you know, dad died and everything. And he tried to start bringing up, you know, little bits of chaos that they had begun to internalize within themselves concerning the situation. You know, the little birds that fly in your ear, whisper sweet little nothings in your ear. They really are nothings. Nothing of them important. Nothing that you should give immediate attention or focus to or thought to. Much less rise up and want to fight about. Those type of things. Because there are other things that should take precedence in situations like that. So Uncle Mike just laughing and joking and stuff, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, he's doing the whole I'm gonna hide my pain, I'm not really gonna tell nobody how I feel. So I'm standing on there, I put my hand on Uncle Mike's shoulder, blah! This big old hand right here. That big old hand said, Uncle Mike, I know it's tough. I haven't lost my father. My father is still there. He's like, yeah, but you know, and all things considered, you know, Pop had his issues and everything, and yeah, you know, and the one thing I want to say, and he said something that's very profound. Why do people always try to make somebody into something they know he wouldn't? He know he wouldn't, you know. And I was like, that's true hypocrisy. But I also in that moment explained to him that a portion of that is internal guilt for the ones who are actually saying that, say stuff out of an effort or an attempt to make the situation better. I'm not saying that the guilt should be felt. 9 times, probably 50% chance that it shouldn't be felt. But of course we tend to, as humans, feel certain emotions and not understand them, so we channel them into other things that we do understand, other ways that we do understand, and we act them out in the ways that we know. So he kind of acted out, you know, in a manner, you know, they were acting out in a manner, you know, of guilt for not having done as much as they felt within their hearts or their minds that they should have done while he was alive. But at the same time, I think a part of it was no one ever took the attention to talk about the issues that were truly going on. And now we're at a crossroads where we have to decide whether or not we want to talk about these issues of the past, that the next generation might be able to move on with a clear understanding of who their grandparents were, what they did, the lives that they led, the things that they did that were great, the things that they did that weren't so great, but with a clear understanding of who they were. And so my uncle just looked at me for a minute like, okay, so yeah, he died and everything, you know, yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, people gotta stop being hypocritical and, you know what I'm saying stuff, you know what I'm saying, doing stuff, and, you know what I'm saying, these church folks. Yeah, you know, I was thinking, he right, you know, but it's not just church folks. It's all folks. All folks who don't understand that negativity, in a sense of impeding others' progress, can exist anywhere. It's one of those things that exists if you allow it to be present. So in that moment, I wasn't gonna allow him to let that negativity just be the dead weight and the cap on, you know, that flip over onto the casket, you know, in the final viewing of the body. I wasn't gonna let it end like that, you know, on a melodramatic, oh my daddy type point. And I just said, look, Uncle Mike, if you feel and you know within your heart and your mind, like I know, we all know, that he wasn't the best man, rather than to keep standing here and talking about that portion that we all know to be true, and find yourself slowly dwindling, walking down the same path as your father, who you felt did nothing with himself, not as much as he could have been, and he wasn't as great as he could have been. Will you still now continue to walk down that path and do the same thing, or will you do something different, Uncle Mike? You gonna do something different with yourself? What you gonna do? I said, to be honest with you, he just died, right? He was 80-something years old, right? And here you are, just now, approaching your 50s. So that means you got another 30 years. What are you going to do with them 30 years, Uncle Mike? Uncle Mike got serious face shit. You know, sobered up. You know, it really did. And I just started chanting, baby, what you gonna do, Uncle Mike? What you gonna do, Uncle Mike? What you gonna do with yourself? Tell me what you do. Tell me what it really is you gonna do, Uncle Mike. Uncle Mike, what you gonna do? I became Stewie in that moment. It was like, mama. And I just egging him in his spirit. What you gonna do, Uncle Mike? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Still hand on his shoulder. What you gonna do, Uncle Mike? He's like, if this fool don't back up off of me, I like, but what you gonna do for real though? And he said, he turned around, you know what I really want to do? I said, what you want to do, Uncle Mike? He said, I want to open me a soul food restaurant. I said, for real? So we started looking back at each other like, for real, Uncle Mike, that's what you want to do? Is that really what you want to do? He said, that's what I want to do. So next day we go over before we leave the city. Uncle Mike, we knocking on the front door when nobody come to the door. So I was like, oh man, now this joker told me to come over here at 4 o'clock. Now he not here. Uncle Mike with his pranks. Got Papa Leg, but Trickster Spirit with him too, the Monkey King. And he just like, so we knocking on the door. And so I said, I tell you what, we going around to the side. Get around the side of the corner. I said, his grill not in the front yard. His grill always in the front yard. You know, my uncle, and he said, want to do this soul food thing. So he grilling on the side of the house. Oh my goodness. The food. I walked past it when nobody standing there by the grill. So me, I dipped in there and got one. Kept on walking, you know what I'm saying? Walked on up in there. And then when I got right to the kitchen, he's like, hey. I like, how you doing? I like the meat so good. You know, the meat so good. It's excellent, Uncle Mike. And, you know, because I really do, after tasting this food, it's been a while. But after tasting this barbecue, if that's something that he really wants to do, I think it's something that he should share. Because when I was watching him do it. When he was doing it, he was in his zone. He was in his comfort level. He was smiling. You can see, you know, the beam in his eyes radiating from it. And that was food cooked with love. I guess the same thing we talked about earlier. I had really nothing to cook, but it was because it was cooked with love and creativity that made it great and made everybody smile and feel a sense of joy within themselves. Because of that which was radiating from him in those moments when he was in the groove doing that thing that he liked to do.
He put his foot in it?
Yeah, he put his foot in it. She told me, you put your foot in it? He talking about, yeah, I might have put a little toe jam in it. Oh, man. You know, but we always joking about toe jam and stuff like that, yeah. Uncle Mike is a prankster. But the purpose and the point is, sometimes things seem very tough. And we have crossroads and moments when we have to decide what it is we want to do in life. Whether it be on a small level as to which store I want to go to, or do I even want to go to the store today? Should I even go to the store? Like, yo, do I really need to buy that? Nah, you know. Or whether it's something larger, such as at 50 years old, half a century, having to decide what it is you want to do in the latter part of your days, the latter part of your life, and reflecting back on the times that you've had. So it's been interesting living and learning, and especially living and learning with family. are our greatest teachers. They present us with the greatest amount of challenges, but for a reason. Alright, take care, stay positive. Peace.